Hello and welcome to round 5 of the GPVWC Superleague from Kyalami, South Africa. In qualifying, Sam Miller set the fastest time. However, a penalty from China saw him drop to the back of the grid. Therefore, Lee Morris started from the front alongside Joe Concilio. David Junt started third, with Nijo debutant Ashley Walsh starting fourth. Jason Muscat ended up 7th after a 5-place grid drop. As the lights go out, it's Morris who has the best start, leading from Concilio. Junt has a bad start behind and catches out the two Nijos who collide. Miller is rather unfortunate and runs over a piece of debris, picking up a puncher and falling to the back. And at the end of the first lap, the order is Morris, Concilio, Muscat, Clark, and then the Woods racing cars. As the order remains largely static at the front, the action is focused mainly on the midfield. The first victim of the day is David Stanton, who loses control in turn 4, heavily damaging the car. Adam Rouse passes Mark Stanton. However, Morgan behind is less successful, and he slams into Rouse, earning himself a penalty in the process. After a few laps, Muscat is stuck behind Concilio. Meanwhile, Junt is trying to pass Walker, and makes it stick a lap later. Perkins was having a good run in 8th, but the spin in turn 3 sees him lose several places. Ryan Walker's slide down the order continues as first Rouse and then Walsh get past the Scot. By lap 10, Morris has pulled out a 10-second lead as Muscat continues to pressure Concilio. This pressure, however, pays off as the Red Archer gets past on lap 11. On lap 18, Morris pits from the lead, suggesting that he's on a 3-stopper. OJ Clark, who'd been running in a strong 4th position, also pits. He drops to 6th before both Woods cars pit. Ashley Walsh retires with a blown engine shortly after. This is the first of a spate of retirements, as first Ben Morgan, and then Phil Perkins crash. A few laps later, William Panisi runs out of fuel and also retires. Lap 24, and Muscat and Concilio pit together, both on 2-stop strategies. Good pit work by the Red Archer crew extends the gap for Muscat a little. David Junt is one of the last of the front runners to pit and emerges behind the 3-stopping Woods. The pattern for the race remains largely the same up to half distance, with Morris further extending his lead. Meanwhile, Damge's bad day continues as he hits the barrier and retires, leaving just 12 runners left in the race. At half distance, the 3 stoppers make their second stop. Crucially, Morris splits Muscat and Concilio as he comes out of the pits. With most drivers having 1 stop remaining, the order is Muscat, Morris and Concilio, followed by Clark and Junt, who are fighting each other for 5th, and Kieran Ryan is not too far behind them in 6th. As the 2 stoppers come in for their final stops, it's Concilio and Muscat who once again pit together. In a rather uncharacteristic move, Concilio loses control of the car on his outlap, contacting the barrier and losing his front wing. Despite this, he manages to minimise his time losses, and he regains 3rd as Clark, Junt and Ryan all make their final stops. Christoph Lichtenstein spins at almost the same place as Concilio, but the German is less fortunate and retires. On lap 58, it's crunch time for Morris, who pits from the lead. As he leaves the pits, it's clear he's done enough and emerges ahead of Muscat. However, as we head into the closing laps, it's Muscat who's on form. He's caught Morris and is applying great pressure. However, great defensive driving from Morris means no matter what Muscat tries, he just can't find a way through. Further back, Adam Rouse passes Wicks for 7th. A little way ahead of them, a tight battle forms between OJ Clark, David Junt and Kieran Ryan. who are battling right to the end for 4th place. As they come through the final chicane, it's Clark who's got the better of Junt, while Kieran Ryan makes a rather opportunistic move and just crosses the line ahead of Junt. Meanwhile, Joe Concilio finishes a distant 3rd, and Morris resists the pressure from Muscat to make it 5 wins in a row for drag racing.